My hands were shaking when I saw the name on the resume. Tyler James Morrison. It had been 15 years, but I recognized it immediately. The room suddenly felt smaller, the air thinner. My chest tightened, and for a moment, I was 17 again, eating lunch in a bathroom stall because I was too afraid to face the cafeteria. Let me take you back 15 years and show you how I got here. Lincoln High School, 2010. I was Sarah Chen, awkward, anxious, and absolutely invisible in all the ways that mattered to teenagers. My family had immigrated when I was 8. We weren't poor, but we weren't comfortable either. My dad drove for Uber before it was even called that. My mom cleaned houses. I wore the same 3 outfits on rotation and spent every free period in the computer lab because, honestly, computers didn't judge you. I had one dream. Get into a good college with a scholarship, maybe study computer science, build something that mattered. Then there was Tyler Morrison. Tyler was everything I wasn't. Quarterback of the football team, even though we were terrible. His dad owned half the commercial real estate in town. He drove a BMW his parents bought him for his 16th birthday. But more than any of that, Tyler had this gift for finding exactly where someone was vulnerable and pressing down until something broke. For him, I was an easy target. It started small. Ching Chong whispered when I walked past, tripping me in the hallway, knocking my books out of my hands, the usual cowardly stuff. I told myself it didn't matter. I told myself I was bigger than this, but Tyler was creative with his cruelty. Junior year, I was selected to present my computer science project at the regional STEM competition. It was my shot, the scholarship committee would be there. I'd spent 6 months building a program that helped elementary kids learn math through gaming. It was good, really good. The night before the competition, someone hacked my school account and deleted every single file. The backup drive? Also corrupted. I found out later Tyler's cousin worked in IT and had given him administrator access as a joke. I showed up with nothing. I had to withdraw. The scholarship went to someone else. When I confronted Tyler in the parking lot, crying and furious, he just laughed. Maybe don't leave your passwords so easy to guess. Not everyone's cut out for the smart kid thing, but that wasn't even the worst part. Senior year, spring formal. I'd somehow gotten the courage to go. I wore a dress my mom had saved up for, nothing fancy, but I felt almost pretty. I was standing by the punch bowl when Tyler approached with his girlfriend Madison and half the football team. Hey Chen, someone wants to ask you to dance. I should have known better. But for one stupid second, I hoped. Then Derek Johnson walked up, Tyler's best friend, paid $20 for the bit, and proceeded to ask me to dance while Tyler filmed it. When I said yes, Derek looked at the camera and said, "Bro, I'm not that desperate," and walked away. The video was on Facebook within an hour. 500 people saw it before I could even get home. I didn't go back to school for 3 days. When I did, I found someone had written "desperate" on my locker in permanent marker. My mom found me crying in the garage that night. I had a bottle of her prescription pills in my hand. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them, but the weight of them felt like an answer to a question I couldn't stop asking. What if I just stopped? She stayed up with me all night. We didn't talk much. But she stayed up with me all night. We didn't talk much. But she held my hand, and that was enough. That was 15 years ago. I graduated, barely, went to community college because it was what we could afford. I thought I'd moved on. I was wrong. Here's what happened in those 15 years. I survived community college for 2 years. Then I transferred to state. I worked 3 jobs, campus IT, weekend shifts at Target, tutoring on the side. I graduated with a computer science degree and $30,000 in debt. My first job was help desk support, making $35,000 a year, but I was good at what I did, really good. I moved up. Junior developer, senior developer, team lead, manager. Every promotion felt like another step away from that girl in the bathroom stall. Therapy helped, though the nightmares took years to stop. I still flinched when someone walked up behind me too quickly. By 32, I was director of engineering at Catalyst Technologies, a mid-sized software company in Austin. Corner office, 6-figure salary. A team of 45 people who actually respected me. I'd made it. Built myself from nothing into someone who mattered, and then, on a random Tuesday afternoon, Gloria from HR forwarded me a job application for the senior developer position we'd posted. Sarah, wanted to flag this one for you. Candidate has the technical skills but his work history is patchy. Let me know your thoughts. I almost didn't open the PDF. But I did. Tyler James Morrison. The nausea hit immediately. I actually had to put my head between my knees. My assistant knocked on my door asking if I was okay. I told her I was fine, just a migraine coming on. I wasn't fine. After she left, I pulled up LinkedIn with shaking hands. And there he was. Older, obviously, softer around the edges, receding hairline he was trying to hide with strategic angles. The bio was desperate adjacent, passionate entrepreneur and tech enthusiast seeking to leverage my diverse experience in a dynamic growth environment. Translation: I've been job hopping and it's not working out. I scrolled through his history. Bachelor's degree from a mediocre state school, barely made it through from the looks of things, founder of 3 different startups, all defunct. A string of jobs lasting 12 to 18 months each, most recently, taking time to explore new opportunities, which usually meant unemployed. He'd moved back to Austin 6 months ago. I found his divorce records with a quick search, finalized last year. No kids, thank God. Small mercies. His application was adequate. He could code, apparently, had the right certifications. But there were gaps, exaggerations that any decent hiring manager would catch. He listed himself as lead developer at a company where I happened to know someone. One message later, I had the truth. He'd been a mid-level developer who got fired for missing deadlines. He needed this job badly, and I was the one who would decide if he got it. The realization hit me like cold water. I had all the power now. What would you do? Be honest. If the person who ruined your teenage years, who made you consider ending everything, showed up desperate and vulnerable, what would you do? I could reject his application in 30 seconds. One click. Not even a form letter, just silence. Watch him wonder. Watch him spiral. Part of me wanted that. The 17-year-old girl still living somewhere in my chest wanted it desperately. But here's the thing about growing up. You realize revenge fantasies don't account for the person you've become. I had 45 people on my team. I had a reputation for fair hiring practices. I'd built an entire department culture on merit, on giving people chances. Could I really throw that away? I spent 3 days wrestling with it. My therapist helped me work through the triggered trauma response. You're not that powerless teenager anymore, she reminded me. You get to decide who you are in this moment. On Friday, I made my decision. I was going to interview him myself. Gloria thought I was insane. Sarah, you have a personal history with this candidate. You should recuse yourself. Let me and Daniel handle it. I appreciate the concern, I told her. But if I'm ever going to fully move past this, I need to face it. And I promise you, I'll be nothing but professional. She didn't look convinced, but she scheduled it anyway. The interview was set for Tuesday at 2 p.m. I prepared like I was going to war. Reviewed his application line by line. Prepared questions that would expose every weakness, every exaggeration. Then I prepared questions that were actually fair, that I'd ask any candidate. I had to prove to myself I could do this right. The night before, I barely slept. Practiced what I'd say. How I'd act. Ice cold. Professional. Completely in control. Tuesday arrived. At 1:55 p.m., my assistant buzzed me. Sarah, your 2 o'clock is here. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. Send him in. Tyler James Morrison walked into my corner office looking like a man who'd been losing for a while. His suit was off the rack, slightly wrinkled. He'd gained maybe 30 pounds since high school. His hairline had retreated significantly despite the LinkedIn photos. But more than any physical change, there was this energy about him. Diminished, desperate, defeated. He didn't recognize me at first. Mr. Morrison, thanks for coming in. Please, have a seat. He sat, fidgeting with his portfolio. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm really excited about the position. I let him settle. Offered water, which he accepted with shaking hands. Made small talk about traffic, the weather. Standard interview opening. His eyes kept darting around my office. The diplomas on the wall, the awards, the view of downtown Austin from the 32nd floor. Then I said it. You probably don't remember me. We went to Lincoln High together. The color drained from his face. I watched it happen in real time. Confusion, then searching through memory. then the slow, dawning horror of recognition. Sarah? Sarah Chen? I smiled. Professional. Cold as ice. That's right. Small world. Wow. You look so different. I mean, you look great. He was already stumbling. Good, thank you. Shall we discuss your qualifications for the position? For the next 45 minutes, I conducted the most professionally brutal interview of my career. Tell me about a time you demonstrated leadership in a challenging situation. He fumbled through some story about a startup that failed. I could see him sweating through his shirt. How do you handle conflict with colleagues? I believe in open communication and... Interesting. Can you give me a specific example? He couldn't. Walk me through this gap in your resume. 18 months between positions, I was consulting independently. Can you provide client references? Silence. I asked about the lead developer title. Watched him try to explain it away. Asked about specific technical skills he'd listed. He was adequate, but barely. Every answer revealed someone who'd been coasting on charm and connections for years, and both had finally run out. Halfway through, he broke. Look, Sarah. I was a stupid kid. What I did back in high school, I'm not proud of it. I'm different now, I've grown, and I really need this job. I'm asking you, please, don't hold the past against me.
What would you do in that moment? When your bully finally admits what they did, but only because they need something from you. I looked at him for a long moment. We all need jobs, Tyler. That's why we have a fair hiring process. I'm evaluating you based on your qualifications, your experience, and whether you'd be a good fit for our team culture. Right, yes, of course. Is there anything else you'd like to add about why you'd be an asset to Catalyst Technologies? He tried. He really did. Gave me some rehearsed speech about being a team player, about his passion for innovation. But we both knew, it was over. I'll be in touch. HR will contact you within a week. He stood, deflated, extended his hand. I shook it, firm. Thank you for the opportunity, he said quietly. Good luck with your search, Tyler. After he left, I sat in my office for 20 minutes, just breathing. I had 3 other candidates for the position. One was clearly superior, 10 years of experience, solid references, cultural fit. Another was about equal to Tyler, maybe slightly better. The third was a recent graduate with incredible potential. Tyler was, objectively, my 4th choice. But was I ranking him 4th because of his qualifications, or because of who he was? I spent the weekend reviewing everything. Made spreadsheets, scoring matrices, consulted with my team leads. Brought in Daniel from HR to review my assessment blind, without names attached. His ranking? Tyler came in 4th. The decision was easy from a business perspective. We had better candidates. His work history showed instability. His interview was weak. Any hiring manager would have passed. But I needed to know I was passing for the right reasons.
Dear Mr. Morrison, thank you for your interest in the senior developer position at Catalyst Technologies. After careful consideration, we have decided to move forward with other candidates whose qualifications more closely match our current needs. We appreciate the time you took to interview with us and wish you success in your job search. Sincerely, Sarah Chen, Director of Engineering. Professional, standard, could have been generated by a bot. But then I did something I hadn't planned. I added a personal note. CC'd HR for documentation, to keep it professional. But I added it. Tyler, I want you to know I gave your application full consideration despite our history. Ultimately, we've selected a candidate whose qualifications better match our needs. I learned a long time ago that success isn't about tearing others down, it's about building yourself up. I hope you've learned the same. Best of luck in your search. I hit send before I could second guess myself. The relief was immediate. Not satisfaction, exactly. Not triumph. Just closure. Like setting down something heavy I'd been carrying for 15 years. Tyler never responded. His silence told me everything. Do I still think about Tyler sometimes? Yeah. Do I still have nightmares occasionally about high school? Sure. Trauma doesn't disappear just because you succeed. But here's what I know now that I didn't know at 17, power isn't about crushing someone who hurt you. Real power is having the ability to crush them and choosing something better instead. I didn't need to humiliate Tyler. The situation, his own choices, his own failures, they did that already. What I needed was to prove to myself that I could face him. Evaluate him fairly, and make the right decision for the right reasons. And I did. That's the victory. Not the corner office or the six-figure salary or the VP title, though I'll be honest, those don't hurt. The victory was looking at Tyler Morrison, the person who almost destroyed me, and feeling nothing but indifference tinged with pity. He didn't ruin my life, despite his best efforts. I built a good life anyway. And that, more than any revenge I could have engineered, is justice.